Alright, enough talking about my exploding knees. My name is Natred. Welcome to another Natred review. Today we're going to be reviewing a first to 5, an amp guard between Angus here on the left and Selena with the big smile on the right. Angus is a big cross gamer, does everything he has the time and the money to do, and I was going to say energy, but I don't think the guy ever really runs out. And then Selena is a primarily amp guard based fighter, and both are rock solid. Quick gear checks. I think we have equitable sword links from both these guys, pretty equitable sword construction. And we have, I believe it's a 24-inch punch out of Angus and flow out of Sal. So let's give it a watch. Oopsie poopsie.
Yep.
Turn it down just a little bit more. I made a point to keep track verbally of the score, so when I was recording this later, I'd be able to hear it. So the fighting might be quiet, and my big dumb voice on the original video might be rather loud.
That's one Angus.
Alright, so it looks like we had Angus definitely gets tagged in the leg here. And let's see how he sneaks in, picks up this hip shot. Might have been chest, actually, it looks like. Yeah. It looks like we had Sal's right hand kind of caved back, not in a good position to be projected out and guard this dark side. Angus going under, flipping back, picking up the chest, it appears.
That's one Angus. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
yeah, we were joking about being extra super clear about counts.
Nice and clear.
So I think that was a Simo. We'll find out.
That's two Angus.
Yeah, it was a Simo. So let's see. It looks like Sal's calling that she blocked with a dead arm here. Angus does this really interesting thing that I've only seen a few fighters do. Local fighter named Russell. We're getting old nowadays, Russell, if you ever see this. I don't know if you can still do shit like this, but I've only known a few fighters who can do these kind of like lunges. And this isn't even so. This isn't even really like it is a lunge, but look at how he just kind of drops in place. I have nothing to say about the body mechanics of this except I'm never going to be able to do it. Comes in, has this high cross, not the deepest high cross. He's not like reaching his sword out. It's more of like this flat shot that goes through kind of the neutral zone in the middle. A little bit of angle there, just far enough. Not being greedy against the two-stick fighter is wise, just going for that forearm as your first hit. Then we have Sal calling block on the dead arm. Yeah, I don't know if that's real. That's really unfortunate, really unintentional because it looked like Angus was just coming around for his next strike and then just bumped the sword while he was doing it. But I agree with Sal.
That's two Angus.
Always err on the
Dose.
side of taking shots, even in the most competitive settings. It's still like this is still wacky bats. That's my opinion. But yeah. Have fun, be honorable. If you got to think about it, it's probably good.
Double arm. That's two Angus, one Sal.
Oh, we're getting some smoke effects. So double arm here, thrown by Sal. Angus going for that dark side. Sorry for touching the mic there. I feel like the dark side is a pretty decent opener against many two-stick fighters. Sal comes in. Looks like he might be chopping the sword arm there as it comes back out of dark. Oh, don't lag me now. Yeah. Then looks like comes across, picks it up with the other strike. Yep. Same march twice. Pretty good. I'm not really picking up many takeaways from this so far. I think this is always going to be like not always. This is especially at this range, kind of throwing this is pretty safe. Like obviously you're going to be really open on this side right here and on your sword side hip, but because of this reach, Sal has to close in really deep to get inside to get in range for that shot, and then Angus kind of gets stuck here with his feet close together and a moment of just beginning to move, having to like step across. Yeah, kind of gets caught up with his feet there as Sal moves around the side and gets the angle for the first arm shot, second arm shot. Yeah, good footwork by Sal,
Double arm.
creating
That's 2 Angus, 1
yeah
Sal.
creating the extra angle to make sure those shots land. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Sure enough, good honor and good call. Looks like it almost gets deflected enough by the pommel. Coming in. Yeah, barely past the pommel, into the behind the wrist. Yeah. Yeah. Me too, Angus. Me too.
I did that same thing.
Really close there. Almost got punished. Or not punished, but almost picked up an arm and died. I want to see what happened that prevented Sal from picking up at least... Okay, so this is a big extension. I almost feel like I'm a parent. Big stretch. So I feel like Sal may have just been surprised by the range and the aggression here. I think Angus kind of correctly identifies in this moment that Sal's leading hand here, the sword is pretty low. And I kind of understand what Sal's doing, though, because from this range, I would feel like I was pretty safe to just hang out. Angus picks the arm. I think if Sal was really on point, this is a point where with that right arm, you just kind of like the second Angus goes for this big reach, you just instantly just throw something, and then you trade arm for arm maybe and pick up the 2-limb kill. The second arm comes across, and Angus, like the mighty nerd he is, gets touched on the garb, it looks like. Definitely doesn't stop the sword's path at all. Comes straight through. Beautiful. Looks like some good inside lane usage. Nope, that came over the top outside, I guess. Yeah, again, so this is a different situation with the range and the footwork, but again, I think Sal kind of getting punished here for having that hand low, that sword low. All right.
That's 3-1 Angus.
Apologies for the
And you guys
shaking.
can do what
Yeah, that didn't look quite like a super solid leg shot on Angus. Sal picks up the arm on an angle I can't quite see.
So that's 2-3.
So does this is I'm definitely a Dago bro in my lineage, but so in Dagger here you can't die when you lose a limb. Like if you're already missing a limb, getting the rest of your limb stabbed off doesn't kill you. I guess it wasn't a stab. It was just kind of a straight little flick out there into the forearm. Okay. Way to pick it up from Sal.
So that's 2-3, Angus.
Yeah, again, throwing that quick little snappy dark side. So one thing I like to do is when throwing that dark side is instead of trying to come out like flat, like laterally, coming up and trying to arc in vertically, especially people like two stick fighters who have this tendency that I'm seeing in Sal right now. I do throw this against Sal, and my knees aren't fucking up. This dark side that comes under your shield and up kind of follows like this trajectory more vertical and try to come in on top of forearms like this when they're low. Okay. Pretty
That's
straightforward way to
3
pick up the
all.
arm. Pretty straightforward bout there. I think Sal just played very good to the sword hand at first, and then just cleaning it up after. Bunch of hands.
We got a good exchange there. So that's 4 for Sal. Okay.
So I couldn't really see what happened here. Maybe it's this shot here that's maybe yeah, that looks like ends up getting Angus here. Angus again does another shot that I really like to throw. Not quite this, but not dark siding, but going behind your shield, but across the top. I like doing not this because I feel like you're throwing into a strong part of a flow fighter's guard a lot. When you're doing this, a lot of them seem to have a naturally strong guard in this sort of like top left quadrant if I'm facing them. But I will go low. I will throw like over the top and come up from below, especially like people who will A-frame their guards a little bit. You can like throw chops, like you can throw like basically like uppercut roll under wraps, whatever you want to fucking call them, into somebody like straight up who's A-framing as a flow fighter, but like kind of going behind the shield adds in this extra confusion aspect. But we see kind of Angus getting punished for trying to do that, just from
We
his
got a good
shield
exchange
being
there.
out of position, and
So
Sal
that's 4
very
for Sal.
savvy
Okay.
hitting the exposed side. Savvy Sal. Savvy Sal slicing.
5 Sal. All right, good
All
fight.
right. Comes close to just like getting it on the first strike here. That's not close, but let's look at Sal's feet real quick. So I really like I really like this kind of initial this movement here. In a perfect world, if like fighting was a fucking like a perfect little video game, I think you would try to, if I was Sal, maybe step a little bit more in and possibly be able to oopsies, possibly be able to land a wrap shot. Yeah, like right there. But looked like there was a small window where yeah, even here too. Like maybe if Sal steps a bit more aggressively, and instead of like having her hand looks like she's turned over here, rolling it into a wrap might work on Angus's shoulder right there. But I also get that Angus is cocked in this like squared up stance, he might be ready to just murder stroke your arm if you hang out there long enough. But I think in that case, then you're set up to get this belly shot off. But nobody thinks that fast all the time, if ever. I'm dumb as fuck. Angus going with the little lunge, plant, redirects. So this is I'm wondering. Yeah, not wondering. This is probably just too much movement from Angus with the shield. Like, okay, so shield comes this far over to block this shot. Probably can just stop right here, right? And then as a direct result of being this far over, shield's completely out of position. Angus's step is putting him in danger of getting this shot landing. If his shield had stayed a little bit further over, probably interdicts Sal's strike kind of at the start. As it is, actually slips underneath the elbow and straight into the body. Good, solid, I think, Florentine flow fundamentals here. Sal taking her step, throwing the pop, getting the shield movement, landing the body shot when the shield's out of position. Just clean, good, clean fundamentals here. Really good to see. I'm not going to review this whole thing to look at it again, but I don't know if I saw Sal ever once try for that, like, a flat wrap on the shield side. I think that might be something to kind of mix into the playbook because the attacking like this area is working out really well. Sal's left hand game is doing awesome, and that's a great place to be if you're a naturally right-handed flow fighter, because then your power hand I think can work in on like finesse stuff. Like maybe instead of throwing chops for that shield side shoulder so much, I start throwing flat wraps. But that's it. Thanks for watching a Natred review. I appreciate you.